On this episode of the podcast, we take a look at the movie Shazam, written by Henry Gayden and directed by David F. Sandberg, starring Zachary Levi, Michelle Borth, Djimon Hounsou, Mark Strong, Jack Dylan Grazer, and Asher Angel. Welcome to He Said, She Said Movie Reviews. This is the podcast where a happily married couple with similar but different movie tastes take a quick look at the movies, helping you make the right decision before your next movie. I'm your host, Tim.
And I'm April.
So we saw Shazam. I give this movie 3.5 stars, and April gives it 3. We'll tell you all about it right after this single trailer.
It was Spiderman, Far From Home. Peter Parker and his friends go on summer vacation to Europe, where Peter finds himself trying to fight off a new foe, Mysterio, who is, as his name indicates, may not be all that he appears to be. This looks great. It's no secret I sure love the last one. It has Tom Holland, Samuel L. Jackson, and Jake Gyllenhaal. Three of my favorites.
This looks like Spider-Man or Marvel Universe meets National Lampoon's European Vacation. It looks like it's going to be fairly interesting. I thought the funny thing was Shazam was a DC movie, and this was the only new trailer we had to review for you, but they also did Avengers Endgame. It was just ironic that you were at a DC movie and they did 2 Marvel trailers. Just pointing that out.
Good point.
So we saw Shazam. This is about, we all have a superhero inside us. It just takes a lot of magic to bring it out. And in Billy Batson's case, by shouting out the one word, Shazam, the streetwise teen-year-old foster kid turns into an adult superhero. Shazam. This was directed by David Sandberg. He is relatively a new director. He gave us Lights Out and Annabelle, the creation, and he's done some short stories. And then the writer Henry Gayden this is his second feature film. He did something called Earth to Echo, which I hadn't seen or heard of. Great cast in this movie.
Terrific cast. Zachary Levi, Michelle Borth. Go ahead, I'll let you take it from
Djimon
here.
Hounsou, Mark Strong, Jack Dylan Grazer, and Asher Angel round out the top part of the cast here.
It was a great cast. The runtime was 132 minutes, a little long for me. It's rated PG-13 for intense sequences of action, language, and suggestive material.
I wouldn't really worry too much about the rating on this. You could certainly take younger kids to see this movie. There wasn't really anything in it that, in my opinion, that was bad or not good. So
no, I do agree with that, especially for this movie.
So I'll admit right off the start, I didn't want to go see this movie. The trailers led me to believe that this was a movie made for 12 to 14-year-old boys. And that's what the trailer, the vibe I got from the trailer. I didn't really want to see it. I'm glad I went and saw it. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. It was a good time. It was a fun movie.
Yeah, and I want to say right off the bat, I kind of dreaded it. And guess what? I just love the theme, Tim. All about families come in all ways. I love that theme. I love the anti-bullying messages.
Yeah, it had a really good anti-bullying message to it. It had, as April just said, the whole strength through family thing going for it. And I really like the fact that it showed that the whole, you had multicultural family brought together. I thought that was really neat, and strength through family. And this is, Hollywood has a tendency in the last 5 years to make adoption a bad thing. Mm-hmm. And this was kind of a cool thing with this movie, is they didn't make adoption seem like it was a bad thing. So
agreed.
Even though there wasn't, there never was actually adoption in the movie, but it was fostering, and they didn't make it. that like this was some horrible thing and that the children were victims and all this other stuff. So I was happy with that part of the movie.
Right. And I want to talk about Zachary Levi for a minute. He did a great job. He is just, I just thought he did such a good job as a, man in a 14-year-old body.
Yeah, he really did the man-child thing really well.
I mean, it was good. An interesting fact about him, he was in the best shape of his life. He worked out. He kind of got obsessive in a good way about his health and being in the best shape he could be, and ultimately started a supplement company.
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, I've seen some pictures of him, and he got pretty buff before the movie, even though he does say that he did wear a muscle suit, but a lot of that was himself too, which was really cool. So. Yeah,
I liked him, and I thought he did such a good job.
And I want to give out a shout out too to Jack Dylan Grazer, the kid who played Freddie Freeman, the kid with the crutch and everything. I thought he did a really, really good job interacting with Zachary Levi. They made it seem like even that they were two kids hanging out together. The acting was really good in this movie.
Agreed.
And another person I really enjoyed seeing was Mark Strong, who plays the villain and the antagonist in this movie. He's a British actor who's played a lot of villains in a lot of movies.
A lot of villains.
And it's funny because there was a Jaguar commercial that came out in 2015 called The British Villains for Jaguar, and it's all about how and he's the main actor in the commercial, talking about how the British villains all drive Jaguars. Hilarious commercial. If you ever get a chance, Google that and take a look at it. Because he makes fun of himself in that movie, but he always kind of plays the same guy, same kind of villain. But I thought he did a good job in the movie too. All
right. So the acting and the characters were great. We kind of talked about that a little bit. The direction, the score, not much there. The one thing I want to mention is I always look when we're thinking about cinematography now, are the night scenes visible? They were. And the production design, I thought the sets were very, very good.
Yeah, I thought the sets were okay. And I thought one of the places where this movie really shined was the dialogue. Even though this was the writer's really first feature film.
Yes.
The dialogue was great. I thought it really fit for, a 12 and a 14-year-old boy. There were some just great one-liners, and I wish I could quote some back to you, but I'm having a little bit of a brain fart and can't remember some of the best lines. But it was really well written, and the dialogue was great. I really enjoyed that. Yeah. Pace was pretty good. For the most part, the movie really moved along really well. As I said, the first 10 minutes opening scene, and this is not a spoiler because it's the opening scene, it was all about if you go see this, it's all about the antagonist part.
Right.
They start out with the origin of the villain.
Right.
So, but it kind of loses you at first, but then they do a good job of bringing you back into it.
And then on the special effects, some of the fight scenes were off. That's my only thing. They just seemed off.
Yeah, a little bit. And I thought the CGI on the 7 Deadly Sins monsters the CGI was a little, but overall, it's an enjoyable, fun movie. To me, this is a
treat.
It's a great Saturday matinee type movie.
Right.
It's one that you're not going to leave feeling bad about the world or bad about yourself or anything. It's a fun movie.
Yep. And we enjoyed it. And I always love the movies where I'm like, and then I enjoy it because I think about all the kids that are seeing it. And I think it's great, but also for the parents. That also makes the difference. But
with the strong anti-bullying message that's in this movie and the strong family message that's in this movie, I think it's a great movie for you to take your kids to and see it and go see it with them.
All right. Well, y'all, I want everyone to go. This was enjoyable. And again, for Tim and I both, it was such a nice surprise.
Yeah, definitely a surprise.
So enjoy it. But I wanted to tell you that, we've talked to so many of you and we're always looking at our format and how to do it better. But we're going to end every podcast now with one of our favorite movie lines from a movie. I'm going to do that because I collect them anyway. But one of my most favorites is from Remember the Titans, when Denzel Washington says, "Attitude reflects leadership." So I'm going to leave you with that today and tell you that we look forward to seeing you at the movies.
Also, it's the Atlanta Film Festival this week and next week, and we'll be definitely down there. And if you're there, look for us, and we look forward to meeting you. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you at the movies.
We'll see you at the movies.